Well, a teacher in Florida plans to celebrate the coming holiday season in an unusual way by asking his students to hail Satan, literally. Teacher Preston Smith in Boca Raton, Florida, says he wants to put up a 300-pound pentagram in the public square down there, bearing the slogan, "May the children hail Satan." The display is intended to compete with a nativity scene put up each Christmas. Meanwhile, the Satanic Temple, that's based in Salem, Mass., is encouraging its followers to find Christian bakers and ask them to bake cakes honoring the Prince of Darkness as a show of support for gay couples who've been denied cakes for weddings. Lucien Greaves is the co-founder of the Satanic Temple in Massachusetts, and he joins us tonight. Lucien Greaves, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
I'm of mixed views on this. I mean, part of me wants to take it seriously because there are real legal questions here, but then part of me wants to tell the truth, which is you're just a troll. And working out your unhappy childhood.
You're going to have to define for me what you think a credible religion is at this point, and then maybe you should thank organizations like Liberty Counsel or the Alliance Defending Freedom when they put forward legal cases claiming that they're taking a religious point of view, and the Supreme Court just taking those at face value. The fact of the matter is we do have affirmative values. These are an expression of our deeply held beliefs. And I think that's all anybody really needs.
Yeah, I mean, we've
had
this conversation before, and right, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, in the end, this is about getting publicity and hassling people. If you really have sincere beliefs and you're
publicity to what end? It's publicity towards issues we truly do.
I honestly think, not to play shrink, but it has to do with what was clearly an unhappy childhood that you had. But I guess my question is, if you have these sincere beliefs, if this is a real religion, then why not practice it? Why waste all this time bothering other people who are minding their own business?
Are you saying why don't we practice it in private and in our own churches and in our own homes? Because then I would say I'm completely on board with you, and that's exactly pretty much the message we're putting out. You don't see us going into public forums where there isn't already religious representation. What we're doing is we're upholding pluralism. And even in the case with the cakes...
No, you're not upholding pluralism. You're going and you're seeking out people to bother, and you're
we're not seeking out people to bother. We're not the ones
maybe I'm
opening
misreading
up.
this.
No,
maybe I'm misreading
we're
this
not
story.
the ones opening up the forum. Do you ever have an evangelical on and ask them why they need to force their Bibles into schools, why they need to put up a cross on public property when they have churches all over the place? I mean, when you open up that public forum, you have to be prepared for
what they're not doing is what they're not doing is showing up at your house and saying, say the Lord's Prayer with me, Lucien Greaves, and if you don't, then I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to get the government to launch a suit against you. You say you and your followers, to the extent you have any, are seeking out small businesses that don't want to accommodate you in order to force them to violate their own beliefs. That's my understanding.
It highlights a disparity. The fact is that religion is a protected class, sexual orientation is not. If you want to be able to deny people service, fine, let's be consistent. The gay hairdresser shouldn't have to dress the hair of the evangelical theocrat who wouldn't serve him a cake. Then we're on an equal level. Then that's okay.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I think if it's your business and you're being asked to violate your beliefs, I think, and they're sincere beliefs.
This does bring up some troubling questions, though, about protected classes and race.
It does bring up. It does actually. Yes, it does. But one of the reasons that this was not an issue after the civil rights movement. I mean, no one's defending denying people service on the basis of their race, which is clearly immoral and wrong and illegal, and it should be. But questions like the bakery out in Colorado, one of the reasons those haven't arisen in the last 50 years is because people had a sense of decency and politeness, and they didn't feel that it was the right thing to get in someone else's face and force them for the sake of making some kind of public statement to violate their beliefs. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they didn't behave like you.
Sure, then we should... Then the gay baker shouldn't be forced to make a cake for the evangelical theocrat, and then I'm fine with that.
I kind of agree. I actually kind of agree with that. But here's the difference. I haven't seen a single case of an evangelical forcing any kind of bakery to bake a cake that violates the baker's personal beliefs. And if there was such a case, I would come down on the side of the bakery, because why don't you back off and let people live their lives? In fact, why don't you do that, Lucien Greaves?
Right, exactly,
if indeed that's your real name.
Because religion is a protected class. So
yeah, whatever.
Either take away
you're making
the
a nonsensical point, and I think you
religion,
should crawl back into your hole. Thanks for joining us tonight.